welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are not playing Animal Crossing. Today we are actually playing The Sims 4. I have the Cottage Living expansion pack. I actually have all of the expansion packs because I am really into The Sims and I've been playing since this game was released. So yeah, I spent a lot of money on this game just because I truly love it. It's one of my favorite games, and yeah, definitely expect to see more Sims content on this channel, specifically builds. Whenever I play, I don't usually do a lot of gameplay. I mostly am just a builder for some reason. I don't know, maybe I could do some Let's Plays, but I think mostly any Sims content that I put up here would probably just be builds. So look forward to seeing that. If you like that, then yay. If not, I'm still doing Animal Crossing. My intention is that I will do Animal Crossing every Friday, and then whatever other game that I'm playing on Wednesdays, at least until the point where I'm kind of like done with Animal Crossing. But as for now, I really want to finish my Candy Core Island, and I want to put that dream address up so that people can go visit. I have a story for it, so I'm really excited about that right now. So that's kind of what I plan on doing right now. We can see if I keep up with it. I have a hard time keeping a schedule, but I'm really working on that. So I'm not going to be upset if I don't do it, just because I don't like to be upset with myself. It makes things much more difficult when you are upset with yourself and then you lose all of your motivation to do anything because you are just upset with yourself. So I'm preventing myself from doing that. It's one of the things that I've been working on a lot this year. So but either way, even with me trying not to be hard on myself, I'm still going to do my absolute best to stay on schedule, because that's another thing I've been working on this year, is being consistent and having a schedule. Anywho, on to this build. And actually, before I get started, I apologize for the sound quality. I'm still working on it. I'm working on having like a little desk set up, and unfortunately it is rather small and it's a little bit echoey, so I'm working on getting the walls covered so that the noise is a little bit less bouncy. It's a struggle. So moving on to the actual build, as you can see, I have used a couple packs in here. I try to limit the amount that I'm using, but this is my first build on here, and I kind of didn't want to limit myself too much, so that's that. Whenever I'm building, I like to have a story in mind. Who are the Sims that are living here? What do they like? What's their story? And actually for this build, I want this to be the first build in a series of builds, actually. So another thing I'm working on being consistent on. What I intend to do is I want this entire world, the name that I forgot already, but this is the one that came with the Cottage Living expansion pack. But I want all of this world to be along the same theme. This is a fairytale world that I'm building, and this particular home belongs to, it's like an old lady and her son, and they live a very simple life. They grow their own food. This is on the this pack does have the lot trait. What is it? Off the grid. So they grow their own food. They don't have any electricity, and they get their water from, as you'll see a little bit later, I place a well, so you will have water if you decide to download this particular lot. You will have water because I do have the the what is it, the well, some sort of well lot trait on there as well. So there's that. And this entire world here is going to be part of its own fairy tale. And everybody in it has a story. So my story here for this particular mother and son duo is that the son is actually the king's secret son, and I will be working on building, making the Sims and the other characters as well later. But this one, the son is the king's secret son, and he has basically, the king has basically paid the mother to, keep quiet about it and not say anything about it, and he gave them this land for them to live on as long as they stay, super low key. I don't know how they would say that back in, in these fairy tale times, but low key is what we're gonna call it. And in my mind, this son looks very similar to the king's son, who he is not keeping a secret. And so what happens is a little bit of a little bit tragic story, but all fairy tales have a little bit of a dark side. But what happens is the king's son, whom he's raised his whole life, has gone and tried to do something super heroic, but unfortunately he didn't make it and he passed away. And so now the king wants, this guy here to basically take his place, and he hasn't been raised like that, so he doesn't really know anything about that world. This is all he knows, is just this farm, And on top of knowing absolutely nothing about this world that he's being taken into, it's also very well known that the king is not a very good guy. He is an evil king. There's always the evil queen. I thought I would turn it around a little bit, just, for a little bit of diversity. Meanwhile, our hero here has been raised by his mother, who is a very kind woman, and, she's raised him to be, like a morally good person, as good as a person can be, because nobody's perfect, right? So that's his story. And I also have like a love interest that he's had since before the king summoned him to come back and be his son. And I think maybe to stir up a little bit of drama, she maybe thinks that something tragic has happened to him, because all of a sudden he just disappears, and then maybe she sees him later and is like, what are you doing? Like, why'd you start talking to me? And he has to pretend like he's, the king's other son, because maybe, who knows, maybe he's been threatened or something. I don't know. But he has to keep up this act. I haven't thought this all the way through yet, but it's coming together a little bit. It's coming together a little tiny bit, So that's kind of what I came up with for this world. I have a few other plans, and I have, there's so many lots that I have to think about. And I also plan on doing kind of the same thing with each of the other worlds, but just not the same theme. Everyone will have a different theme. Everyone will have a different story. I think I want one to be kind of more futuristic. And obviously, the more obvious ones, like the vampires, would be like a cool vampire world, as it already was, But maybe it could be like a different kind of vampire world than what it already was. Like maybe it could be a more modern take on it, because currently it's kind of basic. Not to be insulting, but it's a little basic. But as far as this pack goes, it's really, really fun to build with, and I think it goes really well with some of the other packs. Like, they get together and maybe even like the cats and dogs. It like they just go together really well. The romantic garden pack, I love it. You'll see a little bit later that I also use those big blue mushrooms from the Get to Work pack that came on the alien planet, just like give it more of this like magical fairy tale vibe, you know? And there are so many mushrooms that came with this pack, and I love it. It's so perfect. It fits with this whole theme that I have. They're cute. So I am really looking forward to building more from this pack. I have a few ideas, and then I have so many blank spaces. If you guys have any ideas for what I can do for this world, or if you have any ideas of what I could do for, any of the other worlds, like I don't know what I should do for like the desert one. I know I want to make like a mermaid kingdom for Sulani. That would be so gorgeous. Like, I just love mermaids. I do want to use all the different, like, what are they called? Like, the mermaids, the witches, the aliens. I would like to have aliens on one of them. Maybe that could be like really cool for like the more future-y one. I don't know what to do in the city ones that have like those apartments. I have no idea. I just haven't gotten there yet. I have a few ideas for some, and then others I'm just completely blanked on. So, any suggestions would be very helpful for me. That's as much as I have to say about the world building for now. As far as this particular build goes, I really wanted to make, the inside of this house look very lived in. It is very cluttered, especially here on this first floor. And then the second and third floor are bedrooms, with the son's bedroom is actually rather empty because I don't know, I just kind of blanked on what I wanted to put in there, I guess. When I think about his character, I wanted him to be like, really hard working, brave kind of guy. And I was thinking about putting some fitness equipment up there, but none of it would work because this is off the grid. So, and also it just kind of doesn't fit the theme. There's no fitness equipment out there. So we can use like him working the field and just doing things outdoors as his fitness. He can fit that way. I mean, what more can we do, really? And then his mom, I want her to be just, a sweet little old lady. Maybe she likes to collect things. I put a flower arranging table outside. I don't think I did that just yet, but it's out there. She's just like she's a simple woman, and she's like his adorable mom. She's cute. This whole thing was super fun to build, and the landscaping, I got really carried away on the landscaping. I didn't put most of it in the video because it's just so much, but it was so much fun. It was the most fun, honestly. I really, truly enjoyed doing everything about this build. I like this fairytale whimsical vibes. I love all that. If you couldn't tell already from even my Animal Crossing videos, I just love whimsical. It's my favorite thing. So I'm coming up on the end of the build here. Clearly, Mom really likes those plants, so we're gonna have to roll with it. And I hope that you guys liked this video. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did making it, and I hope, if you guys are needing some inspiration for your builds, that this helped. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.